All right, hey y'all. Um, Name's DJ Devontae J. If you're familiar with the channel, uh, a lot has changed in my life recently, especially in the last month or so. Um, I have moved from New York to North Carolina, and now I'm living with my dad, which for the people who know me, know that's a big deal. He wasn't around when I was young, and we're just now reconnecting after 20 years. I'm just trying to process everything right now, and I've been here about a month now. I left like July 12th. It's August 15th today, and I just got back from work, and I've been going through this I'm on this journey right now, and doing this was a big thing for me to try and accept healing, to try to accept what I never got before. If you can see right now, if you're watching this, you can see me filming from a car, and this is my car. I know I have my first car finally, and I love it. It's definitely got some issues though. There's like this crazy static in the back, or like the stereo system is a little busted. So maybe there's gonna be a little jump cuts here and there to drown that out. But I really I don't know how to describe what I'm going through, but it kind of feels like when you're in an environment for a long time and you adapt a certain way, and you're just like, it's like built into you to be like that. Like you just for people who kind of have some kind of like PTSD or whatnot, people who relate to that, it's like you're just always on edge a little bit, like very subtly. The anxious are just kind of in fight or flight all the time, just very low grade fight or flight constantly. There's different levels to it, of course, but for me, it's always just like kind of in the background, um, just something like kind of consistent, that just fundamentally changes like what frame of mind you're in. And it's weird because I don't have to do that here. Like I don't have to be in that mode, but I still am, and it's making me realize, like, when you're put in a new environment like that, like you realize it's like, yeah, I adapted to survive and to help myself survive and help myself hold on to something, whether it be like your spirit or your joy or something in you are trying to protect. And like, because of that, because I don't have to do it anymore, I'm noticing things now. Like, now that the environment is not reinforcing me, I realize that despite having the environment affect me and like my upbringing, my trauma, create something in me, it's still in me. It's still in me. Like, the problem still is what my nervous system and my mind is just automatically inclined toward. And it's not to say that like what I went through was my fault, but I'm getting to a point now. I'm 27, and in a lot of ways I'm kind of late to the game, you know? Like, I've got a lot of good things going for me, but there's a lot of emotional growth and kind of milestones emotionally, I would say, that have either been delayed or offset by other things or pushed aside. And it's making me realize something like, who am I at the base? The point is to say, like, I don't know. I don't know who I am without all of this extra layers of protection. This, like, this kind of feeling to put up a mask. And I'm not trying to say that, like, I move in a way that's fake. I don't think that's necessarily true. Everybody's got, like, a persona that they'll kind of move into in different environments for the most part. But it's like, who am I without that? And a lot of the time, I think most people they'll have a persona. I don't think it's really exclusive, like, unless you're, like, extremely enlightened, or you're like fully in Christ, or like whatever. You're not gonna be, you're still human. You're gonna have moments where you're performing for people. And it's ironic because, as the background of a performing artist, when I'm really on the stage, I feel the most myself. I feel the most free, because when I'm fully present with it, I can't afford to think about what other people are like, what their opinion is. And I think, what we're all working towards, people who are being mindful, who are trying to heal, we're working towards that consistent presence where you're not concerned about what other people's opinions of you are. You're just focused on being. And I mean being as in just human being, like life, like full presence in the moment. The people who meditate a lot, I've meditated for a lot, and I can reach that state after a little while, but it takes a while for me to calm down, to just get over that anxiety, to let those thoughts just run their course down the river of my mind. And I'll be honest, like, in this time, like, I'm still struggling. Like, I still have the vices I had. I still deal with trying to get over pornography. I still smoke weed probably more than I should. I'm putting myself in a vulnerable position because I'm telling the camera this, and people who are going to see that. My dad and my stepmom might be seeing this right now, and it's hard for me to go to them with... It's hard for me to bring who I was here, because I don't want to bring who I was here. I'm in a better place emotionally, financially, like stability wise. I've never been in a place like this before, ever. Like, I mean, maybe when my grandparents were taking care of me a little bit on the weekends back when I was really young, but like to have a consistent everyday home like this, all right, you don't have to worry about being something else. There's a part of me that doesn't believe that, because I hold myself to a high standard, and I am terrified of people seeing me when I'm not living up to that. And it's hard to settle there, and to be just okay with me, my spirit. I think that's vulnerability. Just in that moment, like, without any of the layers of what you're trying to do, whatever your ego is showing that you need to be. just being open in that moment and continuously being able to settle in there and arrive there, that's freedom. Because then you're really in reality. Like people like me who overthink everything, who live in their heads all the time, that's not real life. Thinking is a tool for you to either learn from the past or plan for the future. But the present is where life is, where real life is. And I've just constantly been running away. And it's not that it's not valid for what I've been through. I'm sure I'll elaborate on some of that. But, you know, my background is not one of a happy family, that's for sure. A very fractured unit. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who understand that. And it's hard for us to believe that we deserve better than that. That we can make better than that, because it's our responsibility to do that. You know, our trauma is not our fault. It's our responsibility. Thanks, Dr. K. So, I mean, I hope somebody resonates with this and understands. But I don't really know if I have something succinct to end on. But healing is hard. And I'm just at the beginning of it, really. I feel like at this moment, and I've been working on myself for a while, but I've been in places and spaces where I either didn't know what I didn't know, you know, I didn't know what I was actually doing to myself, or what my actual loops were, or I was in an environment that was reinforcing the insecurities and all the negative things. And that's where I just came from. I graduated 4 years ago, and the time between graduating and getting out of where I lived, it was hell a lot. I know people have been dealing with worse, but I was making like I was saving like $50 a week. I was living in Section 8 where my income couldn't go above us, like poverty. I was forced to stay in poverty to save up to get out of poverty. And I didn't plan to come here and be with my dad and get to know my family. This whole part of me that I didn't even think it would ever happen, that I would ever be in this space to be a part of it, and to have it so it's like, oh, my family's here. My family's together. That's what I wanted. And it came in a different way than I thought. And I'm grateful, but to be honest with you, I don't know what I'm doing. I want to make things for this channel. I want to start being more of an adult. I mean, I've been responsible. I've hustled, I've grinded, but I'm not great at being consistent, because honestly, there's a lot of things in my life, aside from even just being neurodivergent with ADHD, that's just a layer of it. But honestly, the problem with me is that I really, really struggle to believe in delayed gratification, because there's so many things that I've done where I've really have put in a lot of effort over time. And I would get to a point where you're supposed to have the culmination of that, and you're supposed to have the gratification and the joy, like graduating high school, graduating college. What I was doing, I was training to be a dancer for 15 years of my life. But from 3 to 18, I was dancing, and I was going to be a professional, and that didn't happen. Life happened, shit happened. So many things that I went through, that gratification felt like it never came. Or some crazy stuff like happened in the world, like COVID, When I was in my senior year of college, I took 5 years of college. The next year was still nobody could go outside. I forgot to even sign up for my walk. Like, people couldn't be in the audience anyway, you know? Like, it all just kind of like fell apart. And I've been through so many things where I'm like, I put in that time, I put in that effort, and I still get, it still feels like I'm not feeling what I should. I'm not feeling like I'm not feeling like I accomplished something. I'm not feeling like I'm gaining confidence. I just feel like I am almost like I'm just relieved that I did something I needed to do. And I don't want relief. I want joy. Being here, it's still hard to believe in that delay, but there's just little moments where I'm like, you know what? I probably would have been harder on myself about this last month. Just a little bit. I'm still in those loops. I'm still doing it, but I've been pushing a long time. Something inside me, I never wanted to give up on the possibility of a better life. I think if you're dealing with anything really, and you're in a bad spot, you know, I had to lean on God. I had to find God to do that. And even with doing that, like, I'm not a great Christian at all. You see me cursing on this video. You know, I'm telling you, like, faith isn't easy either. Because what do you need for that? Trust. Put your faith in something means to trust it. And those of us who got some trust issues, yeah, that's hard. That's hard. So, and I'm not even really sure what to call this video, but I'm in a brand new life right now. I've got friends all over. I love them to death, and I miss them. And I wanna show up for them too. And maybe this is a way of just trying to tell them where I'm at, you know. But I think the point of all this is really like this move, this whole situation, the move in with your estranged parent who you haven't seen in 20 years. That's a leap of faith. And the only thing I knew was that it was better. Two things. It was better than this, what I was dealing with before in New York. And I knew that God wanted me to do it. He answered my prayer within 30 seconds of me trying to figure this out. I tell him, hey, God, I don't know what to do. I kind of want to go to North Carolina, but I need your approval. I need you to know that this is the right move. And I already visited before, but moving there, that was something that I was on the fence about. I didn't know. And I'm driving to work, and I come up, and there's a light. And I'm waiting at the light, and a car passes through the intersection. And it's got a bumper sticker for Raleigh, North Carolina, which is where I'm at. Those two things, that's all I had to go off. So my point is, take that leap. And you might not have the trust to feel like you're gonna land. But if you feel stuck, if you feel like there's something where it's like you need to make a change, you either need to make a change, or maybe you've been grinding and you've been trying to get somewhere, but life is just not, life is keeping you in that mud where you gotta, like, it's almost like getting your wheel stuck in the mud, and you roll that wheel and you do it constantly and you feel like you're sinking, and you move enough, eventually you might hit something dry enough and you might start to roll out. Either situation, you got to turn that wheel at least. Turn your wheels, like, do something. And honestly, like, it was grace that got me here. This opportunity, like, some of the hardest part about it is that I didn't do it on my own. I got help. It doesn't mean that I didn't work for what I had. That doesn't mean I didn't bust my ass for years. Like, eating shit in a, like, spiritual sense, felt like. Where I felt like, oh, am I going to be stuck here forever? Like, am I ever going to get out of here? Am I ever going to stop getting fucking verbally and emotionally abused every day? Taken advantage of? Your environment makes a difference. Anybody in self-help knows that, but whatever you can do, take that leap. I'm rambling too much, but take that leap. You don't know where you're gonna land, but if you need something to happen, you need to make a change. Make a calculated risk. Don't just fucking do some random bullshit and be like, oh, it's for my life. No, like, understand what you're doing and the implications of it. Assess if it's better than what you're in right now, and make a choice. That's all I gotta say for right now. Thank y'all. I'm gonna try to make more videos here. Maybe just like learning about me, honestly, because I gotta reassess about dancing. Not that I don't want to do it, but YouTube is not friendly to dancers who want to use music. So, at least the music I want. So, I'm gonna have to reassess things. But for right now, this is a brand new life. Good luck to everybody. God bless. Take that leap. Believe in yourself, or at least act like you do. Deuces.